Yeah, Belcher beer. I know. It is old ham.
And this is not a spring check. We're laughing because today we're going to be talking about the food associated with the 4th of July. And a lot of these things have to do with, well, they're almost synonymous with it. It's like summer food, snack food, fun.
Well, it's the main staples of people for the 4th of July. Hot dogs, potato chips, and Bowser beer.
And we're laughing because the beer that we have in here, this is actually dog beer.
I didn't think about it. I brought beer from my house, but I didn't think about that. So we had to use the dog's beer. Yes.
And we just heard Monty just entered the room because she heard us say
her,
dog.
It's her beer, so.
Beer.
Yes, it basically it's so I like that. We got the history of hot dogs is really a big one because like I said, sausage is the oldest form of processed food, having been mentioned in Homer's Odyssey as far back as the 9th century BC. I like Frankfurt, Germany is traditionally credited with originating the Frankfurter. Geez, I wonder why Frankfurt,
Germany?
Yeah. However, this claim is disputed by those who assert the popular sausage known as Dachshund. Yeah. Our little dog sausage.
Oh, Dachshunds. Doggies.
Dachshund. You know, it was created in the 1660s by George
wiener
Grolier,
dogs.
a butcher living in Cologne, Germany, according to the report. Gurgenhader traveled to Frankfurt to promote the new product. Well, because a wiener dog, you know.
They call them wiener dogs.
It's a wiener dog, doesn't sound as good as Frankfurt. So, you know,
But they call them Dachshund.
I know, but I like that. Here we go. In 1987, the city of Frankfurt celebrated the 500th birthday of the hot dog in the city.
500 years?
Yeah, it said that the Frankfurter was developed there in 1487, 5 years before Christopher Columbus set sail for the New World. The people of Vienna, Austria, point to the term wiener. Okay, we'll put it this way. The dogs are known as Franks.
They are?
You know, Frankfurters. They're not known as Viennas.
Yeah,
So
I know.
That sort of makes it easier to lay your claim. Frankfurter, Viennas, no.
Well, they call them wiener dogs, or wieners.
I
For
know.
Vienna, or Vienna.
I like the American hot dog is a little different. That's what you read about the American hot dog, which is somewhat different.
What?
Well,
They think it came actually from a European dog, or sausage brought here by butchers of several nationalities. You know when everybody was coming over. But it's in Down who first served the Dachshund sausage with a roll. I know, when I see Dachshund sausage, I think of a dog.
when you think about it, there's some dogs in sauerkraut. That's sort of German.
Yeah, it is. One report says a German immigrant sold them along with milk rolls and sauerkraut from a pushcart in New York City Bowery during the 1860s. You know, and actually that makes a lot of sense, okay?
Yeah.
And, what?
I would have thought it would have been bratwurst and sausage. Bratwurst and, you know, and
Well, you know what?
sauerkraut.
Perhaps the first hot dogs were more like bratwurst.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, because they were German. And in 1871, Charles Feltman, a German butcher, opened up the first Coney Island hot dog and stand selling 3,684 Dachshund sausages in a milk roll. In a milk roll?
Yeah.
During his first year in business. What's a milk roll? It's like a hot dog bun, but it's made out of milk?
No, it's just a milk roll. It's just a milk roll. They just rolled it in milk. Try a dog in a hat, a pig in a blanket.
Yeah, but they're calling that like a milk roll?
Yeah.
The blanket.
Because they used milk they dipped it in milk and then rolled it in the flour and then cooked it.
Okay.
So basically they're German Jewish folks. They like that. Well, here's a good one. In 1893, the sausage became the standard fare of baseball parks.
That probably was when it really started catching on.
Yeah, I said the tradition is believed to started by St. Louis bar owner Chris Van de Aar, a German immigrant who also owned the St. Louis Browns Major League Baseball team.
I knew someone whose name was Vondere,
Yeah.
and they had, it was Vaughn's Pavilions, right? Was it Vaughn's?
Yep.
Of course, actually Vaughn is very common because it's
means
like of, right, in
Yeah.
German. So like everybody was something Vaughn something.
Von Hohen, the house of.
Yeah.
It's the last name that's important. Like,
Not the Vaughn part?
no, it's not not the Von, not the house of. It is the last name, which is like Zolan, which is like Boxleitner. you know, so. But,
Okay.
I know.
Sometimes we get off on a little tangent.
Yeah, like that. Many hot dog historians chafe the suggestion that Dave's hot dog bun was introduced during the St. Louis, Louisiana Purchase in 1904 by the Bavarian concessionary. That was the World's Fair of 1904.
Well, you know what? You notice it all goes back to concessions. It's like, you know, instead of going to the butcher, they put them on the little kiosk concession things, and that's where they started really
Yeah, well, they said
expanding.
he loaned white gloves to patrons to hold his piping hot dogs. Since they weren't returned, he asked his brother, who was a baker, who improvised long, soft rolls that fit the meat, inventing the hot dog bun. He said that everyone wants to claim the hot dog bun as their own invention, but the most likely scenario was the practice was handed down by German immigrants and generally gradually became widespread in America.
Well, that part
Okay,
makes sense.
let me tell you how it was. Okay,
What?
we'll assume this is a piece.
Yeah, we're gonna take a hot dog.
No, but assume this is a loaf of bread, a small loaf. What they would do is Germans would scoop out a piece of the loaf, put the hot dog in the piece of the loaf, and they'd eat it like that.
Oh, actually, that makes a lot of sense.
That is how the Germans did it. Then they put sauerkraut all over the top of it.
Actually, that makes sense. That it
Yeah.
actually started as a little roll that.
Yeah, it was a
hollowed out.
actually there were little individual loaves of bread.
This
They
is
were
the mini
little-
loaves.
They were mini loaves, and they just
Yeah.
scoop out, they basically, they put, what they scoop it out, they went to putting, what was it, there's another example, I'm giving history. They would put a metal rod, when the bread was starting to raise, it'd be in a slot.
Oh.
And it'd be fastened in the top, the bread, the little mini loaves would raise, it would leave that little depression right there.
Oh, so it would continue to raise on the sides.
That's right, and it rose up around, and when they cooked it, it left that little gully in there. It wasn't really meant for hot dogs, it was meant for other things, like putting bratwurst in to put stuff in, because it just left a little, and then they set the Germans sit there and eat the, sauerkraut and
He's
bread.
German, that's why.
Yeah, well, I know. But basically, other story that riles serious hot dogs is known, the term hot dog came about, though.
Some say the word was coined in 1901 at the New York Polo Grounds on a cold April day. My guess is they were just hot. They
Yeah.
were hawking hot dogs from portable hot water tanks, shouting, "They're red hot!
Yeah.
Get your dogs and sausages while they're red hot." A New York Journal sports cartoonist, Tad Dorgan, observed the scene and hastily drew a cartoon of barking dachshund sausages nestled warmly in rolls. Not sure how to spell dachshund, he simply wrote hot dog.
Yeah.
The cartoon is said to have been a sensation, thus coining the term hot dog. However, historians have been unable to find this cartoon, despite his own enormous body of work and his popularity.
Because I remember, they said, get your dog, get your red hot dog.
Well,
That was
that
what it
would
was
make
done.
sense.
They didn't say,
You know,
get
kinda
your
like-
hot, they said it was always, get your dog, get your red hot dog, get your dog now.
And you could hear them doing that like at
All
baseball
over the
games
park.
or where
And
sporting events.
it would be like like they do at the Peanuts today. They wrapped them like in a thing, and they would, basically they were in like a little lunch package, a little brown paper package, and they would toss them out like this to people in the stands. That's how it was done. And because
That sounds like baseball, hot dogs, apple pie.
no,
you know, like the tradition.
they were kept in warm steamer trays.
Yeah.
And they would basically, they were all hot in there. They take them out. Each one of the things would be in a, and basically, they'd come down the end of the row with the condiments on the container, and you sit there, and then you go like that, and you open your package up. So, but that's how it was done. Because there'd be one person tossing, another person with the thing with a little tray on it. You go like this and like that, and then he'd go to because it'd go right down the row. And at the other end of the row, there'd be somebody that basically popped them in his thing, and then this guy would turn over here, and they'd be coming this direction. Because those are real big deals and things. I know, but I know.
I know, and I'm looking at this package. This one's from Oscar Mayer, and it does say premium beef franks on it. It doesn't say hot dog. It's even, it's even like the kosher, the Dodger dogs.
Yeah, but like I said, finally, other culinary historians point to college magazines where the word hot dog began appearing in the 1890s. The term current at Yale in the fall of 1894, dog wagons. That's what because they didn't call them, Frankfurt. They were Frankfurters, but they were selling the hot dogs at the dorm.
Because hot dog is shorter than Frankfurters.
They
And
said
hot was to describe what the dog was, right?
And basically, the name was a sarcastic comment on the provenance of the meat. Basically, they would swear that this thing has got everything but the dog in it. It's probably got that included.
Oh.
Remember, a hot dog, unless it is this, is made from ends of other meats. You're talking chicken, turkey, beef, pork, whatever they have.
Oh, I can see how
The Frankfurter is a combination of things to make that.
it's like all the leftovers that the butcher had and you just put in a roll to, right?
Yeah, but they said the most common, okay, basically the name most likely began at the dachshund.
The dachshund?
The dachshund, which I also call it dachshund.
Yeah. Which is probably the German
It's the
pronunciation.
German way of it's the dachshund. You know, they don't call him dachshund, they call him dachshund. You know, which is spelled the same way. But it was a joke about the German small dogs. Basically, that's how that they found, because they're, you know, that's where it's a wiener dog. The college people were making fun of the dogs look like one of these things.
With a couple of legs and a head.
With legs and a head. But now, and that, you know, now you know how the hot dog came about. It became a staple at the baseball parks, and you ate more hot dogs on one day of the year than you did on any other day of the year.
Really?
Guess which day?
4th of July.
That's right, because they had parties at the ballpark.
Oh.
You go to the ballpark, you see the fireworks. You'd also get to. They'd have, you know, basically they'd have kettle chips for people to get. People to basically, they grab the chips, they grab the dogs, and then they grab their beer, and they'd be there all day and all night long. There was no lights back in those days, so you sit there eating, you know, with a candlelight, waiting for your fireworks to go up, having a dinner with everybody else on the baseball field. But the baseball field really didn't exist like today either, so they were, you know, like stands in a great big open expanse. But now we're gonna do the
Potato chips!
Potato chips, folks.
Potato chips have come a long way.
I know, basically they've come a long way. I mean, my family made potato chips, you know.
I bet this is German related too because of the potatoes.
Yeah, well, actually, basically it's a variation of the French fry, but my guess is more Irish. I would bet Irish, because the Irish basically lived off of potatoes. They take their little potato peeler and go like this and then dump the stuff in salt and water, because you know what you could do with it then?
What?
This is from my grandmother. I'm giving you some more history. My grandmother said they would dump it off, her father and her uncles would dump it in the boiling hot oil with the salt in it. They would then pack it up in their kits and take it with them, and they'd eat it.
So they could take it with them?
They could take it with them.
Because potatoes...
You couldn't take your potato, but you could take...
A French fry.
You couldn't take a French fry, but you could take one of these. You could take a whole bunch of these with you and have your potatoes when it was time to go to the lunch. So, see? But,
well, you're saying that as a world food, this is second to rice in world consumption.
because it's the most simplest thing in this world to make. I mean, like I said, it is simple. You take a potato, you peel it, and most of the people don't even, true ones, these aren't even peeled. They just slice them, dump them in hot oil with salt in it, and then let them dry.
Well, they're a huge snack food.
That's it. But it's also a substance for like I said.